So people got shortlisted based on their resumes and profiles. And I would like to highlight a point that there was no branch restriction because during my second year, I was pursuing my bachelor's in metallurgical engineering and I was one of the selected participants. So yes, and the people who got shortlisted after their hackathon test, they got a mail that they will soon be having a recruiter phone screening call, and that will be a telephonic call. And people who got shortlisted after this telephonic phone screening also, we got into the LinkedIn coaching program for that year. And this program was of 4 months. And during these 4 months, we received a proper mentorship. Each mentee was appointed one mentor, and that one mentor remained consistent for the 4 months. And we used to have our weekly one-on-ones with a mentor. We even used to have classroom sessions.
Hey everyone, I hope you are doing well. So अभी LinkedIn कोचिंग प्रोग्राम 2025 का फॉर्म तो ओपन हो चुका है and I guess you all have already filled it also or are planning to do as soon. Okay, so yeah, today we have a special guest with us, Ria ma'am, who has selected as a mentee in the LinkedIn coaching program, and she has successfully gone through the entire process on this program. So she will walk us through her journey, that what is her journey from the application process to being selected, and offer some great insights on how to make the most of this opportunity in your career. So without further delay, let's hear directly from Ria ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Hi everyone, I'm Ria Jha. I'm currently a super final year undergraduate at IIT Dhanbad. I'm pursuing my bachelor's in metallurgical engineering along with a double major in computer science and engineering. And I have been a part of LinkedIn coaching program cohort 3, which was in the year 2022. And I'm here to share about my journey through this program. And so for us, the applications were open around mid-Feb and end Feb, and we applied through the form which they open, and we provided our resume in that form. People got shortlisted based on their profile and resume. And I want to highlight a part that there was no branch restriction because, as I said, during my second year, I was pursuing my bachelor's in metallurgical engineering, and I was shortlisted after my resume got through the program. And then we got a shortlisted mail. So people got shortlisted based on their resumes and profiles. And I would like to highlight a point that there was no branch restriction because during my second year, I was pursuing my bachelor's in metallurgical engineering, and I was one of the selected participants. So yes, and the people who got shortlisted after their hackathon test, they got a mail that they will soon be having a recruiter phone screening call, and that will be a telephonic call. And people who got shortlisted after this telephonic phone screening also, we got into the LinkedIn coaching program for that year. And this program was of 4 months. And during these 4 months, we received a proper mentorship. Each mentee was appointed one mentor, and that one mentor remained consistent for the 4 months. And we used to have our weekly one-on-ones with our mentor. We even used to have classroom sessions. We were provided with a curriculum at the initial stages of this program, and that curriculum had a detailed description about what we are going to have in the coming 4 months. We had syllabus of the DSA concepts divided in 4 months. Like each month will cover certain or specific number of topics of DSA, starting from the beginner level difficulty to the harder level difficulty of DP and graph problems. And soon after we completed a certain syllabus for that specific month, we used to have a hackathon test for those topics, minutes. And once we were able to complete that test, we had discussion sessions in meetings. And then we used to have a mock interview with some other mentors. Like we did not used to have mock interviews with our own mentors. So that helped us gain confidence by having interviews with some random interviewers. So we gained confidence in that. And then the feedback from that interviews was circulated with our mentors. We used to have, again, discussions on where were the points where we can improve ourselves and what are the areas we need to work on. After these 4 months, people got opportunity to sit for the hiring process of their software engineering internship program for LinkedIn. And for that, we had, again, a hackathon test. And the people who got shortlisted from that test, they had interviews. So we had 2 rounds of interviews. One was technical and the other was HR based. So each round was eliminatory in nature. So the first round, for me, it was a technical round, and we had two questions to be solved within 45 minutes. And if we got them right, so we were shortlisted for the next round, which was the HR-based round. And in HR-based round, we were again asked standard HR questions about our projects or about our academic background or things like that. And once we got shortlisted with that round also, so we got the offer for internship in the software engineering profile at LinkedIn. So yeah, that was the overall brief view how LinkedIn coaching program works.
Oh, great. So, ma'am, means you shared all your experience and what are the application process to us. Okay, so ma'am, can you please explain the eligibility criteria for this program? That what should the aspiring mentees focus on the criterias?
So yeah, the eligibility criteria for this program is that first and foremost thing, it needs a female engineering student, and she should be enrolled in the second year of BTech program, and in any stream. There's no as such restriction on branch, and the CGPA requirement for this program is 7 and above. And also the most important thing is that she should have a passion and enthusiasm towards software engineering. So yeah, these are the eligibility criteria.
Oh, great. Means she should have the passion about the software engineering, right? Means after this, how did you approach the building and optimizing your LinkedIn profile during the application? Like, is there any importance of LinkedIn profile in this program?
The needs or eligibility of this program does not specifically mention about the requirement of having an active and updated LinkedIn profile. But I would suggest and recommend everyone to have your LinkedIn profile updated because I believe it, to some extent, it plays a good role in your resume shortlisting for this program. But there's no hard and fast rule, but it's good to have a well up to date LinkedIn profile as it will help you in long run also to apply to other jobs and to be visible to other recruiters. So yeah, you
Right,
should have.
exactly. Okay, so ma'am, what was the process like from the online assessment to the telephonic round? Can you please explain the kind of questions that asked in the OA from you and how you tackled them? And also, did you focus on a specific topics of DSA while preparing about this program?
Okay. So the process, as I explained, like we first have the hackathon test, and then we have, if shortlisted, then we have a recruiter phone screening call. So if I talk about my hackathon test, so it had two sections. One section was based on coding, on data structures and algorithms, and in that section we had three questions. And in from my point of view, these questions had an increasing level of difficulty. So the first question was comparatively easier. The second question was of medium difficulty, and the third question was of the most difficult difficulty level. Following this section, we had the second section of essay writing, wherein we were asked one question and we were supposed to answer it in 200 to 400 words. And the question is mostly around like, why do you want to become a part of LinkedIn coaching program? How can it benefit you? So, like the questions are mostly of this kind. So this was about technical part. And if shortlisted, we were given the opportunity to have a recruiter phone screening call. And in that phone screening call, the recruiter actually connects with you over a phone call, which is an audio call. And you are informed about this call either on that day itself or maybe a day or two before that day. So the recruiter asks you about your academic background, like what are you currently pursuing, why are you interested in this program, about your projects, about your coding platform ratings. So I would recommend everyone to at least have a look of your coding platform ratings, because they ask you like what are your ratings on code forces, on lead code, on code chef, and so on. Apart from that, they even ask you like, have you been a part of some hackathon or have you contributed in open source programs, things like that. And apart from that, they'll ask you your availability in the entire 4 months duration, if you are available to attend sessions which they'll be providing via this program, or will you be available to attend mock interviews, weekly one-on-one calls. So they'll ask how much time, like what amount of hours you can dedicate to this program weekly basis. So yeah, this is the process like.
Means after the online assessment, it will be essay type of questions. So, ma'am, can you please give some tips to write the means essay writing?
Okay, so if I talk about the essay writing part, I must say they actually focus on the intent of the student who is willing to apply for this program. Like if I talk about my answer writing, which I wrote in my during my time, I actually belonged from a metallurgical engineering background, and I specifically mentioned this thing in my answer. And I wanted them to know that I'm really passionate about software engineering, and I tried everything possible at my level. I talked to my seniors. I watched online art videos and articles. I went through online resources and learned everything possible at my level. So I wanted an expertise or a guidance of some professional in this field so that I can have a more better foundation of software engineering. So this was my overall intent of joining this program, because I could get a proper mentorship from industry level experts. So yeah, I think you should focus on why do you want to join this program and be as honest as possible while writing your answers.
Yeah, exactly, because that was the eligibility criteria, that you have to be passionate about the software engineering. How was the telephonic screening round, and what kind of questions were you asked, and how did you prepare for them? Like, was the focus more technical or non-technical questions during the discussion?
Okay, so for me, I was informed about the telephonic screen round on the day itself of this interview round. So this was just an audio call, like no video conference, nothing like that. So the recruiter approached me via phone call, and the things she wanted to know was basically about my background of academics and why do I want to join this program. So the first and foremost thing which they ask is that, like, you are congratulations, you're shortlisted for this phone screening round, and then they want to know about what stream are you pursuing your engineering in. I mentioned honestly that I was a non-CAC or circuital student at that time, and I wanted to be a part of this program so that I can learn under the supervision of industry experts. And then she wanted to know about my projects which I've worked on. So I shared about my projects, which were mainly at that time around web development. I had few projects around full stack development, so I mentioned about them. They might ask you like, explain any project which you have worked on, which you like the most. So you have to be very thorough with your resume, whatever you mentioned in the resume about your projects. So you can describe any project of your choice, and they won't ask you anything technical, but they want to know what have you worked so far in this software engineering domain. So after that, they might ask you about your coding platform ratings, like what are the number of problems solved so far, what are your ratings. Namely, they'll ask specifically about what are the number of problems solved on lead code, what is your current
Okay.
rating, and on
Wow.
code chef, on code forces. So they'll ask you step by step. And I was lucky enough that I knew my ratings of all these platforms, so I shared with her. And then she will ask you about your availability, like what are the number of hours you can dedicate to this program. So this program is usually in our summer break, which is around March to August. So they wanted to know if we are available to contribute X number of hours in this program. So yeah, these are the things she'll focus on, and nothing technical, but they will judge your passion towards software engineering. Yeah.
Exactly. And after this, you will get a mail or a message for the shortlisted, right? So, ma'am, what means how were you feeling when you got shortlisted for this program?
So yes, I got a very strong feeling right after the recruiter phone screening call, because I had a good impression in front of her. So I was very hopeful to get a congratulations mail, and I was able to get one. So I was very happy, because as I belonged to a non-circuital branch at that time,
Hmm.
this opportunity seemed very big to me. and I was very happy to be one of those uh, students to be a part of LinkedIn coaching program. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, great. And ma'am, what was the one moment from this experience that you loved the most? That the mentorship or the mock interviews or the hacker rank test, which was the most funniest or most lovest part?
So yeah, like I cannot name one. I had many such situations or portions in this entire program, but the most what I loved about this program was the mock interviews, because
Okay, great.
during our second year we are very shy, underconfident
Hmm.
about and this is the time when the internship hiring season is at peak, and we
Yes.
all are preparing very hard for internship interviews, and having an opportunity to actually replicate a real life interview situation to attend mock interviews is a plus during these times. So the mock interviews was the best part of this program, and the second part which I liked the most was the mentorship. So we were given one mentor per mentee, so we had a very strong bond with our mentors. We used to share every possible thing which we think that this I might be lacking in this specific topic. I'm not so confident with this part. Even the mentors used to give feedback about the soft skill part of interviews, like some of the great tips which I apply to till date were given by my mentor during this LinkedIn coaching program, which is very, very useful. And the third thing which I liked the most about this program was that it will help you eventually to cover all the topics of DSA. Like if we try to complete on ourselves by our own, we may, we may take a longer time than usual. But this program bounded us to a specific time frame to dedicate these many hours to these many topics. So this program eventually helped us to cover the entire portion of data structures and algorithms in a very organized fashion. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Okay. So, ma'am, in last, I would like to ask that do you have any tips or advice for the aspiring mentees that are currently applying for this program?
Okay. So, suggestions like to not be scared of applying to any program, first and foremost thing. Like, if me at that time, if I would have thought that my branch is a non circuital branch, I may or may not get shortlisted. So, I might not be here today. So, I would suggest to just
Yes.
apply to every program possible, and do not be scared of your eligibility criteria. You may have a CGPA lower than the benchmark which it requires, but the first thing is you should apply to the program.
Hmm.
So go ahead and apply to LinkedIn coaching program. Who knows, you might get lucky. And the second thing which I would suggest is that keep your fundamentals strong. The hackerrank test is the most difficult part which I felt in the entire application process. So be prepared to tackle those problems. So for that, I would recommend to go and practice basic data structures and algorithms problems on Lead Code, on HackerRank, and also keep giving contests on code forces so that
Hmm.
you have a time tackling power. You can train your brain to solve X number of problems in these many hours. So that temperament is also very important while giving any online tests. So yeah, these, and just keep the passion of software engineering within your life.
Yeah, and means like you shared the tips. I guess because of this tip, you are here and you will become a very great inspiration for all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your valuable insights and experience with us today. And it was truly inspiring and also informative. So I'm sure everyone here learned a lot from your journey and tips. Yeah, and if you have any additional questions, so feel free to reach out to Ria ma'am directly on LinkedIn, and I will pin the LinkedIn profile of Ria ma'am in the description box. And yeah, so let's make the most of the opportunities like these to grow and succeed together. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.